So, hello everyone. My name is Mark. I'm here to present the Collaboratory developed in the Human Brain Project. We prepared a video to present this. It's about 14 minutes presentation and 14 minutes demo after that. And I'll be waiting for you on the other side of that video to take any of your questions. Feel free to ask questions during the video as well by typing your questions in the comments. And we're ready to go. Hello, my name is Mark. I'm here to present the Collaboratory, a gateway to eBrains and HBP services. Now, for those of you who may not be familiar with the names, HBP, the Human Brain Project, is a European co-funded project which started in 2013, been running for 7 years, and it still has 3 years to go till the end of the project. eBrains is the product of that project. It is a research infrastructure, and as the various services which are being developed by HBP become sufficiently mature, they are being transferred from the HBP website over to the eBrains website. So I'm going to give you a short presentation, about 15 minutes, about what you can do with the Collaboratory. The purpose is to show you how it can boost your research, your network, your productivity, and your visibility. And after that, I will give a short demo. So the first thing that we hear when we hear Collaboratory is collaboration. And in what way does the Collaboratory enable such collaboration? Well, first of all, it helps you to identify people you want to collaborate with. Then it provides a controlled workspace that you can work in, and I'll be explaining what I mean by controlled workspace. It lets you document your work and share data with the people you're working with, or in a larger way with other people. It provides an interactive trial and error type programming environment, and it allows you to share your results and your work at the end. So the first point, identifying people you want to collaborate with, well, the Collaboratory includes the management of accounts for eBrains. So one account in the Collaboratory will give you access to any resources within eBrains, whether those be data or models or software or services. The Collaboratory also allows you to fill in your user profile and to access other users' profiles. And you choose what amount of information you're comfortable in sharing with other users. For service providers, the authentication system in the Collaboratory uses a standard OIDC protocol, which means that you can easily integrate your service into the eBrains infrastructure and make that service available to the eBrains users. So what do we mean by controlled workspace? First of all, the workspace is self-hosted. That is both storage and computing is hosted on the Phoenix Research Infrastructure. For the time being, that is at CSES in Lugano, Switzerland. And in the coming months, the other Phoenix sites will also be providing services and will allow us to expand to those services. The workspace in the Collaboratory is called a collab. And when you create a collab, you can choose to make your workspace public or private. And if it's public, it is accessible to everyone without an account, which means that even if you do not have an account today, you can already go and look at existing collabs in the Collaboratory. Each collab comes with a team, and it allows you to set permissions with roles such as admins and editors and viewers at the collab level. We do not provide a finer resolution of permissions so as to keep permission management as simple as possible within the Collaboratory. All the collabs are completely versioned as well, This is an important feature because a lot of people are still not used to working in a collaborative environment, meaning they're used to being the only ones doing the edits on their files. So having versioning on files means that you can trust the people that you're collaborating with to make responsible edits in those files, and you can check that they do responsible edits by comparing any two versions of the file in its history to see what changes have been made. You can document your work in the Collaboratory in various forms. The easiest is probably the wiki pages. People are used to wiki pages in Wikipedia. It's a very simple way of editing a web page. We also support Office-type documents with online collaborative edition of those documents, whether it be Word or PowerPoint or Excel. That means that you can several people can log in at the same time and editing the same document, and you will see other people's edits in real time. This is very handy, for instance, for taking minutes in a meeting, or for brainstorming, or for reviewing documents when they become more mature. We also support Markdown and PDF, and you can use any other format that you would like to choose by saving other file formats in the drive of the collab. So each collab comes with a drive, and that is the storage for that collab, and all the files in that drive are version controlled as well. For interactive programming, we use Jupyter Notebooks. Jupyter Notebooks are a very interactive programming environment. What it allows you to write a few lines of code in a cell, execute the cell. If you don't like what happened, you can go back, edit the cell, re-execute it, or you can just leave that one be, start a new cell, write a few more lines of code, execute that. And at the end of the day, you have a long list of cells that you can remove the cells that you're not using in the end, or you can copy the notebook into a clean notebook and remove all the code that is no longer necessary. The Jupyter Notebooks environment that we use is in Python 3. There are many scientific libraries available for programming in Python. If you have not tried Jupyter Notebooks, you should really give it a try. Aside from that, the Jupyter Notebooks implementation in the Collaboratory allows you to access from your notebook the contents of your drive, of the drive of your collab, or of drives of other people's collabs as well. That is a very powerful tool. It means, for instance, that the notebooks can be used to document how to access all of the resources, whether it be data or models or software or services throughout eBrains, throughout the eBrains infrastructure. So notebooks are the easiest way to get started using any of those resources. You can find a resource, you can find a notebook, which gives you an example of how to do so. Copy that notebook over to your collab, start editing that notebook to adapt it to your specific needs for your research. Now, at the end of your work, you want to share your results and your work with other people. Some time ago, that was done by sending out a paper to an editor and eventually having that paper appear in a book, and the book could be ordered, or you could go and see it at a library. That has since evolved, where you can do the same thing with PDF files, either on a CD or directly on the internet. Today, the better way of producing a publication is through a live paper with the article, which would be available, for instance, in a wiki format inside your Colab, with the data that you use for that article directly in the storage of your Colab, and any notebook that you used for that research also available directly in the Colab, so that the reader comes to your Colab, reads the article, can check what data you used, can try out your notebook, can change the data, run the notebook on his own or her own data, modify the notebook to try different things out, and that's a much more interactive and efficient way of sharing your results and your work. So the Collaboratory has been evolving ever since 2013 when the Human Brain project started. For starters, cloud services evolved a lot since then. The services, the tools which are developed on those cloud services have also evolved a lot, and so the Collaboratory has too, and we are now rolling out the Collaboratory 2 version. It is currently coexisting with Collaboratory 1 version, and most of the content is still in Collaboratory 1, and we have started the migration process from Collaboratory 1 to Collaboratory 2, and I will be doing a demo of both Collaboratory 1 and Collaboratory 2 right after this presentation. So as a quick recap, the Colab in the Collaboratory offers team management. It offers documentation possibilities with wikis and office documents. You can store those documents along with other data in your drive, which is associated with the Colab. You can access that data from the lab in Jupyter Notebooks. And at the end, when you're finished with your Jupyter Notebook, you can share that Jupyter Notebook in a notebook viewer inside one of the wiki pages of your Colab. For those of you who are interested in what tools we use, we did not reinvent the wheel, so we are using a lot of third-party tools for the Collaboratory. The user authentication is based on Keycloak. The wiki pages on XWiki. The Office document, collaborative edition of the Office documents is done on the Office. The drive is based on CFile, and the Jupyter Notebooks environment is based on JupyterLab. So our contribution to the eBrains environment, first of all, will allow you to access the neuroscience community of eBrains. There is no installation required on your side. You can work from anywhere as long as you have an internet connection and a computer, or possibly even a tablet. You have workspaces for your projects and your teams to work in a controlled environment. And you can share your work and your results or not. We do encourage open science, open data, open source, but you are not required to share your work or your results, or you choose when to share. We recommend using live publications, having the article, the data, and the programs that you wrote directly accessible in the same Colab. And that's it for the presentation. So I invite you to register for your account today, going to ebrains.eu/register. You can visit the Collaboratory 2 by going to wiki.ebrains.eu. You can visit the Collaboratory 1 if you have an account by going to collab.humanbrainproject.eu. You can contact support at any time at support@ebrains.eu or support@humanbrainproject.eu. It ends up in the same place. And that QR code will take you to a page which has all these links on one page. And we're going to be leaving this slide up maybe after the demo. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick demo of the Collaboratory 2 and then of the Collaboratory 1. Collaboratory 2, type wiki.ebrains.eu. That takes you to the cover page of the Collaboratory 2. At this point, you are not logged in. You can still see public collabs. So here you have a list of public collabs. We have one which is called Demo Collab. You can visit it. here, all collabs have a front page, which is a wiki page, which presents the collab. Then you have other wiki pages. Here's one with a bit more content, with quotations, images, code snippets, table of content, which is generated automatically for you. Here's another wiki page with an embedded Jupyter notebook, and I'll be showing that notebook later on, and an embedded video. This one is a video.
Have you ever experienced that a scientific journal?
A video which is on YouTube. Okay, so now if you were to log in, and remember you can register for your account anytime. So log in to the Collaboratory. Here you have a bit more entries that appear in the navigation bar. So the new one that shows up is the drive. Here you have folders and files. For files, you have version history, multiple versions, and you can check any specific version that you like. You have Word document, which opens only Office so that you can edit the Word document. At this point, I'm the only one logged in. So you see my name up here. If we were to be multiple people logged into the same page, you would have the number of people which would show up here that are connected. And anyone typing edits, the edits would be visible directly here for you. Okay. Then you have the Collabs team app, which lets you edit the team members. So here we see that we have 2 admins for this collab. We don't have any editors. We don't have any viewers at this point. We can add a viewer. In this case, I'm going to add someone else from the team. And we can close this, and we see that we have an additional viewer for this page. We can also add units. Let's add someone from the Human Brain Project, the consortium, SG3, and let's say we want to have everyone from work package 1, which has access. Say select, close it, and we see now that we have both the user and the unit which have access to this specific collab, in this case as viewers, whereas some of us are still admins of the collab. Now, if we click on lab, that will open a Jupyter lab for you. You have to sign in. In this case, it doesn't require a password because I'm already signed into the wiki part. And you see it opens Jupyter Lab for you with multiple tabs, which supports multiple tabs, one for each notebook. It opens directly to the drive of the collab, where you have, in this case, 1 notebook. So it opens that notebook automatically for you. I'm going to actually, since I'm using larger font for this demo, I'm going to open the lab in a separate window so that you can see things a little bit better. And I'm going to open this notebook. I'm going to clear all outputs. And so here you have multiple cells with some code which try out different packages, different Python packages. So we're going to quickly run through those cells, printing a message, uploading a file. We have one with widgets, where you can do some things like this. Then we have a notebook. Then we have another example code, which will display a graphic, and another with a little bit more complex graphic. Okay, and in order to export that to my wiki page, I just went to File, Export as HTML, and then attached the HTML to the wiki page. So very simple to use. I hope you give it a try. If we now move on to Collaboratory 1, I don't think there's anything else for me to show you here. Okay, so you go to collab.humanbrainproject.eu. Go to collab.humanbrainproject.eu. Here you need to log in. You do not have access to any content before you log in. And when you register for an account, you will automatically get both a Collaboratory 1 and a Collaboratory 2 account automatically. So here, I'm going to open one of the collabs. This is my own collab so that I can give you this demo. You always have a front page, which is called Overview. It's not wiki content, it's not wiki format, it's another rich text format that you can use. The collab has a team as the Collaboratory 2 has. Here you can edit the team by clicking on the cog and adding members here. There are no differentiated permissions within Collaboratory 1 collabs, so everyone has basically admin permissions within the collab. Let's close that. You have storage space for your collab. It's a little bit less user-friendly. You don't have drag and drop into your storage, but you do have folders and files. What you don't have either is file versioning. In this case, in this collab, you see that I have multiple notebooks as well, and the other folder had an image, I believe. This one's empty. This one, no, had just some text. That's fine. You have some settings for your collab. Let's take a look at something a bit more exciting. So let's take one of the notebooks. Here's a sample notebook, which is called Fairgraph. It accesses the knowledge graph of eBrains from a notebook. So we're can run through that. It does a couple of installations of packages. And while it and after that, it will open the Fairgraph package, open an instance to the knowledge graph of the knowledge graph client. Are we done? Yes. So opens the package, creates an instance of a knowledge graph client. Then it's going to pull information from the knowledge graph. Here it finds 26 cells. Actually, I already have everything in here. So it's going to be pulling information from the knowledge graph, finding a specific data set, looking at the contents of that specific data set and displaying, in this case, some data which is located within that data set. So that's a very quick example of what you might get from a notebook in Collaboratory 1. And we don't have the collaborative edition of We don't have a collaborative edition of Office documents. What we do have is Etherpad integrated in Collaboratory 1, and people can log in at the simultaneously into the Etherpad application to edit text collaboratively. Edition. Color is not very nice. Save. Okay, this will be better. Okay, you can add additional elements in your collab by clicking add. There are all sorts of applications which have been developed for the Collaboratory 1. Let's take a simple one. Well, actually, just simply add another Etherpad. So it's called live document. Add it to my collab. It appears down here. I can change its name. Notes. Editing the navigation bar, and here again in edit mode. Okay, so this is a very quick demo of the Collaboratory 1. There are other applications which are of interest. The software catalog is being deprecated. The content of the software catalog is being moved to the Collaboratory, to the knowledge graph. We also have a model catalog, which is not linked here. But if you visit other collabs here, well, actually, you have a collab for each platform. Maybe that's the best place to start. And you can browse through what each of the Human Brain Project platforms have documented in the Collaboratory 1. Okay, so I encourage you to register for your account. As soon as you have an account, you can access both Collaboratory 1 and Collaboratory 2. You can already start by accessing Collaboratory 2 without all the public collabs in Collaboratory 2 without an account. Okay, and at this point, I think that's it for the demo, and I'll answer any questions you may have. Thank you. Okay, so at this point, I'm happy to take any questions. You can just write your questions in the comments, and I'll be answering them. And we have a first question. What is the difference between Collab 1 and Collab 2? Do I need 2 separate accounts to access each? So the difference between the Collaboratory 1 and Collaboratory 2 really are trying to achieve the same purpose. Collaboratory 2 is more modern, has more features. As I pointed out, it has, where do I start? It has the wiki pages. It has the collaborative edition of Office documents. It has Jupyter Lab instead of Jupyter Hub for the notebooks, so it's a more modern environment for running your notebooks as well. It has more advanced permission management within the collabs. It's just generally an improved version of Collaboratory 1, and Collaboratory 1 still has a lot more content in it. So that's why we're still creating accounts for both Collaboratory 1 and Collaboratory 2. When you register for an account, you will automatically get both accounts, Collaboratory 1 and Collaboratory 2. And you can access both separately. Actually, if we can show that slide again. So you can log into Collaboratory 1 and Collaboratory 2 at two different URLs. project.eu. Collaboratory 2 is accessible at wiki.ebrains.eu. And you just have to choose which one you want to be looking at any one given time. We strongly encourage people to create new content only in Collaboratory 2, but Collaboratory 1 is still very useful to access any reference data which is available there. But technically, it is just, well, the account name will be the same for both accounts, Collaboratory 1 and Collaboratory 2. So people can register for accounts already today. The access to registration has been open now for several months without invitation. So you can go to ebrains.eu/register. If your institution, if no one from your institution already has an account, the process, you're going to have to request your institution to be added to register for their account by contacting support. That's a fairly smooth process normally, and you will then be able to register for the account automatically, and anyone else from your institution will be able to register as well. So we'll let people give people a little bit of time to type in their questions in the comments if they like. And if there's no other questions, then we'll just end the presentation here and let you can always go back and access the presentation, which I believe is being shared after this presentation as well, and in a recorded form. And if you have any other questions, you can always contact support@ebrains.eu, and we'll be happy to try to respond as quickly as possible.